Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing wonderfully. So as we all know, June is like, I guess, International Pride Month, like worldwide. And I have like a ton of books in front of you now, which is essentially going to be my TBR. And I'm showing it very early, and I usually don't do TBR videos, but I want to take this queer month reading books more like seriously this year, and I would love if any of you want to buddy read this with me. So I'm showing you early so you can say, hey, I would also love to read that book with you, and we can chat about it. So this is a way to like connect with other queer people, talk about queer stuff more with like my online friends, and maybe prioritize books that you people are more interested in. Let's just get into the books. Just so to clarify, I will not be reading all of these in June. The first one is, these are basically all the books I own that are like LGBTQIA+ in some way. So Paul Takes the Form of a Mortal Girl by Andrea Lawler. So I believe this is about Paul in the 90s. He goes to lots of bars and travels across America, and he can also shapeshift with his body and with his gender, which sounds really cool, but I think I've heard like a lot of mixed things about this one. I think it's YA. Yes. Then we have Pages for You by Sylvia Brownrigg. So I bought this one at Gaze the Word many years ago, when I identified as like straight and cis, like way back. And I was like, I'm not buying this book because I think I'm gay. I just want to hear a love letter that one girl writes to another girl. Oh boy, how innocent we were once, am I right? That's pretty much all I know about it. Then we have this one that Dom has recommended endlessly. All the people I talk about will be linked down below, obviously. And that's A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe by Alex White. I believe Alex White is a non-binary author as well, which is cool. And this, I think, is a very diverse sci-fi. It's a little bit big, so it's a little bit more intimidating for me. But if someone wants to buddy read this with me, hit me up. And then we have the last book in Neon Yang's series. What is it called? The Tenants, something like that. This is the last one, The Ascent to Godhood. I still haven't read this, and I don't really particularly enjoy the series a lot, but I have this last one. I'm thinking I'm just gonna finish it if someone wants to buddy read with me. Otherwise, I really don't think I'm gonna get to this next month. And I thought I would include this one too because I'm worried if it's on my TBR for too long, I won't read it. And that's Detransition Baby by Tori Peters. I've just heard very great things about this, and I wanted to support Tori being nominated for Women's Prize for Fiction. So that's why I got it. But I'm thinking maybe it would be fun to read it next month. I honestly don't know a lot about this book. But detransitioning is like something that scares me as a concept because it's always been used against, you know, like trans people to deny them medical care. So obviously I think detransitioning is something important to talk about, but it just like, it's like mixed feelings obviously, but it's a very valid experience, and I do want to read this at some point. So if you want to buddy read it with me next month, let me know. Then we have another one that I'm not really sure is actually queer or gay or LGBTQIA+ in any way. I'm assuming it is because I get the feeling of it, and that's We Ride Upon Sticks by Quan Berry. I have a feeling there's like gay romance, there's some sapphic stuff, but I'm really not sure. I believe it takes place in the 80s and it centers a hockey team. I also believe it's a little bit speculative, something with witch history. Let me know. Then we have a short story collection. This is Homesick by Nino Capri. So Nino Capri is also non-binary, and I am reading their other book, Defect, which is a sequel to, what's that one? Finna, right now. And I'm really enjoying it, so I'm like, I'm excited to pick up this short story collection. I don't know exactly what it's about, but let me know if you want to buddy read it. I think I'm gonna stop saying that for like every book. You get the gist. I feel very hipster today, like with this outfit and my artichoke jar of coffee. It's literally just because I'm unable to do the dishes, and this is literally all that's left. Then we have 4 comics. I believe if you're interested, I would love to do a reading vlog with these 4 comics. So the first one is Girl Haven. This is the only comic that I think has like a trans, like very very specifically trans main character that I've been able to find. I know there's more, but please recommend some like actual like main character. Like I don't want the side character or the next main character. The main character is trans. A comic or graphic novel with that, please let me know. But yeah, I believe this is Girl Haven Euphoria main character Ash, who she basically imagines like this alternate reality where only girls can exist because she's like bullied a lot and all that, and she's like trans, and so it's about that. I believe it's kind of like a YA, and it looks like this, colorful. I'm excited to read it. And this is one that was like a graphic novel adaptation I was really looking forward to because I wasn't really interested in reading the actual book. But then I saw the graphic novel adaptation. I'm like, yes, I've been waiting for this. And that is Julia Takes a Breath by Gabby Rivera and Celia Monscotti. So this is, I mean, I think Julia is a lesbian. Also, oh, this color scheme. Wow, it looks amazing. I'm also going to be reading this for the best word-a-thon because I believe the prompt is name in the title, so Julia works for that. Sapphic, I'm excited. And another graphic novel that's very famous for being just like super queer cast all around is Mooncakes by Wendy Xu and Suzanne Walker. Yes, I have 2 copies of this, and I was saying that when I read 5,000 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway on the other one. I'm keeping the Roar edition. I believe the other one is Omnipress. So yeah, you know, like share my channel, subscribe, like, do what you can, and maybe you'll get a chance to win this. I've just been putting it off because I want to read it closer to when I reached 5,000, but it's going much slower than I expected, so I'm like, why wait, you know, I'm just gonna read it now. Then we have 2 comics. I went into all the comic book stores in Copenhagen and I'm like, hey, I want comics with trans main characters, and what they do is they show you every single queer book that they think is queer, but they have no idea what they're talking about. There was one person who showed me that these 2 had a trans main character, but I think these are just queer, honestly, like, but they were quite cheap, so I got them both. Glory by Joe Keating and Ross Campbell, and I don't know what any of these is about. And then Motor Crush by Brendan Fletcher. Apparently, I think if you can trust the people at the comic book store, they're queer. Then we have something really sad to talk about. I've been buddy reading this with my mom for like a month, and we really still haven't gotten through it, but the sad part is I spilled water over this book like 4 times. 4 times, like, just like over a week. There was just water spilling on it constantly, and so it never dried, and so it looks like this now. Like, it's so sad, and it's almost like falling apart. Very sad. But this is They Them There by Eris Young. So Eris Young is also non-binary, and this is all things genderqueer or non-binary or like anything under the non-binary umbrella. Yeah, a guide to non-binary and genderqueer identities. So I'm reading this with my mom to like educate her, and so she has any questions while we're reading it, but we really haven't gotten that far. So I would really like to like get through this next month, but this just makes me really sad. Like, look at that. Okay, we're almost through. Next one, I also got a recommendation from Dom. This is The First Sister by Lyndon A. Lewis. This is also like a very queer sci-fi fantasy. That's all I really know, actually. And I know the second book is coming out soon, so it would be nice to get to this. Then we have a book that I'm really excited for, but I feel like it's not very popular, and that's Heaven by Emerson Whitney. So I believe Emerson is also non-binary, and this is a book that they're writing to their mother, I believe, and it's a nonfiction, and it's like kind of organized this way with like the spaces between the chapters. So I've been wanting to read this for a really long time, but I haven't gotten to it, and I really, really want to get to it next month. And here is The Queer Conscience, so by Adam Ellie. This is another like pocketbook edition. So Adam Ellie maybe is Jewish and queer, and he talks about like those intersections. And I accidentally bought 2 of this one too, and I gave one to my best friend, and she's already read it. So I really would like to read this soon, so I can talk about it with her as well. And another book that I bought a long time ago. This is Transgalactic Bike Ride. Feminist bicycle science fiction stories of transgender and non-binary adventures, edited by Lydia Rogue. So I believe I got this recommendation from Kathy, and I would just really like to get to it next month. I guess all these books are pretty much like non-binary books. Like, what can I say? I'm very biased in reading my own experience. And then lastly, 2 books that I got recommended from Bush Poetics, and it's these 2. Loat by Shola von Reinholt. I believe the main character is kind of like genderqueer, and it's about identity, but less explicit. And then this one, We Both Laughed in Pleasure, The Selected Diaries of Lou Sullivan. So yeah, this is, the subtitle basically says it all, but I believe Amanda talked about this in one of their list, like favorite books ever or something. It's, I don't know if you can tell, but I really like books that are formatted like a little bit more square. I love the format of this, but it seems quite dense. I'm a bit intimidated. So those are all the books that I'm like planning to get to. There are a couple that I didn't mention that are not relevant for like you picking what I should read for next month in this video. Like, for example, Adventure Time comic, a Murakami book, and the climate fiction book club for next month, which is The Impossible Resurrection of Grief by Octavia Cade, which I also will be reading, obviously, but they don't really have anything to do with Pride. So to be honest, I will probably just end up reading whatever I want, but I still want to make this video, so in case you wanted to buddy read anything with me, which is like the purpose of this, so we can talk about gay stuff together. Yes. I also want to say that every year there's like a country, a city that's picked for International Pride, and 2021 is Copenhagen International Pride. Like in my city here, it's gonna be so awesome. Like all the drag performances, like all the workshops, it's gonna be so fucking epic. Like I'm just hoping that this like pandemic thing is going to be much better at this point, like that point, so people can travel. Like if you're gonna be here at Copenhagen Pride, you gotta let me know so we can meet. I would love to meet some of you if you live in Europe and if the situation is better. I just want to throw that out there. Yes, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Talk to me in the comments about these books and your preferences, or if you want to read anything specific during next month that you want to buddy read with me, maybe a proposal, let me know. I wish you all like the most amazing day. I wish you guys so much love, sending you so much love, and I will chat you with, and I will chat with you guys soon. Bye.